friends to a new session on genomics and proteomics. In this session, we will discuss transient expression of transgenes and DGGE in mutation detection. Transient expression of transgenes. Transient expression is a short-term expression of the introduced DNA, that is, the introduction of DNA into the nucleus and the DNA starts to function. Transient expression is usually studied using scorable marker genes, or expression of this kind of marker genes result in a quantifiable phenotype, that is, it will make the cells containing it to look different, which report their expression via direct production of a detectable colored or fluorescent compound or an enzyme that can convert a non-pigmented substrate into a pigmented form. The most commonly used scorable markers are B-glucuronidase, which is GUS, which catalyze hydrolysis of glucuronides from Escherichia coli, which converts a colorless substrate into a colored form, which is blue, and the green fluorescent protein GFP, small protein of 238 amino acids, first isolated from the jellyfish Equara vectori, which fluoresces green upon excitation by high intensity UV or blue light. Although expression from the GUS gene is relatively simple and inexpensive to detect, the GUS assay itself is toxic and can therefore only be used for single time point expression assays. Transient expression represents the first successful gene introduction and function. The observation of a single blue GUS expressing cell or a few GFP spots is usually all that is needed to suggest further investigation of an approach in the development of new DNA introduction methodologies. Transient expression in a cell should be very clear by the visualization of GUS or GFP. Expression is most often limited to the targeted cells, and a demarcation of expressing and non-expressing areas should be apparent. Based on optimization of DNA delivery, most transformation procedures were developed using transient expression analysis. Transient expression for GUS is typically observed 24-hour post-introduction, while GFP expression can be observed as early as 1.5 hours after delivery. Optimization of transient expression. Since transient expression is a direct measure of successful DNA introduction and function, development of new methods to improve transient expression has often been used as a means of optimizing the transformation process itself. So, optimization of transient expression is quite useful for the initial development of transformation methods. Transient expression is only a measure of successful short-term transgene expression, and it may not always perfectly reflect the ability of the cells to integrate the introduced DNA to generate stable events. As the DNA molecule is so large, the process of DNA introduction itself requires that the integrity of the cell be compromised in some way. Target tissues and cells can therefore be sufficiently damaged by the DNA delivery process so that they express the transgene at high levels but not survive over the long term. This point of diminishing returns cannot be precisely defined for the different systems, but it does exist. Transient expression of transgenes. Transgene expression can also be used to facilitate speedy analysis of factors that influence the strength and stability of transgene expression. Once transient expression is optimized and standardized for a specific target tissue, the effects of factors that influence the level and profile of transgene expression can be reliably determined. Quantification of transient expression involves either the extraction of the gene product from the targeted tissues or the use of image analysis for continual monitoring of GFP gene expression over time. Tracking of GFP expression coupled with image analysis has tremendous advantages over tissue extraction, as gene expression in the same piece of tissue can be followed over time. Transient expression analysis has been utilized to study the relative strength of different promoters and promoter fragments and to evaluate genes that modulate the introduced transgene via gene silencing. Promoter isolation and evaluation could increase tremendously with the increased availability of genome sequences from a number of different plants. Transient expression has been used to evaluate factors that influence the stability or consistency of gene expression. A transgene is a gene or genetic material that has been transferred naturally or by any of a number of genetic engineering techniques from one organism to another. The introduction of a transgene is called transgenesis and has the potential to change the phenotype of an organism. The term transgene describes a segment of DNA containing a gene sequence that has been isolated from one organism and is introduced into a different organism. This non-native segment of DNA may either retain the ability to produce RNA or protein in the transgenic organism or alter the normal function of the transgenic organism's genetic code. In general, the DNA is incorporated into the organism's germline. For example, in higher vertebrates, this can be accomplished by injecting the foreign DNA into the nucleus of a fertilized ovum. The construction of a transgene requires the assembly of a few main parts. The transgene must contain a promoter, which is a regulatory sequence that will determine where and when the transgene is active, an exon, a protein coding sequence usually derived from the cDNA or complementary DNA for the protein of interest, and a stop sequence. These are typically combined in a bacterial plasmid and the coding sequences are typically chosen from transgene with previously known functions. Agrobacterium mediated gene transfer method by Smith and Townsend in 1907 postulated that a bacterium was the causative agent of crown gall tumors, although its importance was recognized much later. As Agrobacterium tumefaciens infects wounded or damaged plant tissues, it induces the formation of a plant tumor called crown gall. It is a soil-borne, rod-shaped, motile, gram-negative bacterium. The entry of the bacterium into the plant tissues is facilitated by the release of certain phenolic compounds like acetosyringon, hydroxyacetosyringon by the wounded sites. Transgenic plants are produced by two methods. First, indirect gene transfer using plasmid as a vector and direct gene transfer. tDNA transfer mechanism. Though exact mechanism of tDNA transfer is not clearly known, effective role of VIR or Vir region is known in the process of transfer. Genes in the Vir region is activated by acetosyringon, a phenolic substance secreted by wounded cells of the host. The phenolic signal molecule binds to the Vir-A gene product, the Vir-A protein. As a consequence of this, several Vir region genes are activated and these gene products or proteins help in copy of tDNA and its insertion into host cell. Nicking between third and fourth base of 25 base pair repeats. Vir-D operon encodes for an endonuclease that cause nick formation. Second, initiation of DNA synthesis in 5' to 3' direction. Third, involvement of bacterial genome synthesis and secretion of glucose, cellulose, fibrils and cell surface proteins. This is common physiological response in all soil bacteria and is involved with pathogenic characters. The generation of the T strand is the first step in the complex process of agrobacterium mediated plant cell transformation. Infected plants display a gall on the stem which is composed of proliferating plant cells that were transformed with bacterial DNA. The wild type bacterial pathogen has a special ability to invade accessible areas of the target plant, adhere to certain types of plant cells and insert some of its own DNA. This DNA is coated with different bacterial encoded proteins which protect the DNA from degradation, direct transport to the nucleus and assist with integration of bacterial DNA into the plant genomic DNA. The bacterial DNA that is transferred or tDNA is located in the bacterial cell on a native plasmid called the tumor inducing plasmid or TI plasmid. In the wild type bacterium, the tDNA contains genes for synthesis of nitrogen rich opines which are metabolized by associated bacteria and plant hormones which cause rapid cell proliferation leading to the formation of galls. A fragment or segment of TI plasmid referred to as tDNA is actually transferred from the bacterium into the host where it gets integrated into the plant cell chromosome, that is host genome. Thus, crown gall disease is a naturally evolved genetic engineering process. The tDNA carries genes that code for proteins involved in the biosynthesis of growth hormones, auxin and cytokinin, and novel plant metabolites, namely opines, amino acid derivatives, and agropines, sugar derivatives. The growth hormones cause plant cells to proliferate and form the gall, while opines and agropines are utilized by Agrobacterium tumefaciens as sources of carbon and energy. Vectors based on Ti and Ri plasmids. The Ti or Ri plasmids cannot be used directly. The limitations for direct use of these plasmids are large size of vector make it difficult to manipulate, absence of unique restriction enzyme sites, and tumor induction. Therefore, vectors are designed with useful characteristics such as removal of tumor induction property or disarming the plasmid. This is achieved by replacing of Ti genes in tDNA by selectable markers such as NPT2, kanamycin. Promoters and polyadenylation signal isolated from octopine and nopalin synthase genes were used for expression of selectable markers. As there is no excess production of plant hormones, whole plants transformed with such disarmed Agrobacterium strains can be produced and detected by the production of opines. When a selectable marker gene, kanamycin resistant, is introduced, transformed cells can be selected by their ability to grow on media containing the selective antibiotic. Untransformed cells will not survive on this medium. tDNA and Vir genes are two essential components of a vector. Co-integrative vectors. Co-integrative vectors recombine via DNA homology with an intermediate cloning vector, which is used for manipulation and cloning of the gene in Escherichia coli. Agrobacterium containing co-integrative vector and E. coli containing intermediate cloning vector are allowed to undergo conjugation, but the intermediate vector cannot replicate in Agrobacterium. So, it has to transfer the marker genes as well as the DNA segment to the resident Ti plasmid or co-integrative vector, example PGV3850 from nopaline type Ti plasmid through recombination in the region of DNA homology. Binary vector. The small binary tDNA plasmid has a wide host range that can replicate both in E. coli and Agrobacterium cells. The desired foreign gene is inserted into the binary tDNA plasmid between the left and right border sequences. A selectable plant marker gene is also inserted along with desired foreign gene and allows selection of transformed plant material. tDNA transfer and integration. First, signal induction into Agrobacterium. The wounded plant cells release certain chemicals, phenolic compounds and sugars which are recognized as signals by Agrobacterium. The signals induced result in a sequence of biochemical events in Agrobacterium that ultimately helps in the transfer of tDNA of T plasmid. Attachment of Agrobacterium to plant cells. The Agrobacterium attaches to plant cells through polysaccharides, particularly cellulose fibers produced by the bacterium. Production of virulence proteins. As the signal induction occurs in the Agrobacterium cells attached to plant cells, a series of events take place that result in the production of virulence protein. To start with, signal induction by phenolic stimulates Vir-A, which in turn activates Vir-C by phosphorylation. This induces expression of virulence genes of Ti plasmid to produce the corresponding virulence protein D1, D2, E2, B, etc. Production of tDNA strand. The right and left borders of tDNA are recognized by Vir-D1 or Vir-D2 proteins. These proteins are involved in the production of single-stranded tDNA or ssDNA, its protection and export to plant cells. The ssTDNA gets attached to Vir-D2. Transfer of tDNA out of Agrobacterium. The single-stranded tDNA Vir-D2 complex in association with Vir-G is exported from the bacterial cell. Vir-B products form the transport apparatus. Transfer of tDNA into plant cells and integration. The tDNA Vir-D2 complex crosses the plant plasma membrane. In the plant cells, tDNA gets covered with Vir-E2. This covering protects the tDNA from degradation by nucleases, where D2 and where E2 interact with a variety of plant proteins which influences tDNA transport and integration. The tDNA where D2 where E2 plant protein complex enters the nucleus through nuclear pore complex. Within the nucleus, the tDNA gets integrated into the plant chromosome through a process referred to illegitimate recombination. This is different from the homologous recombination as it does not depend on the sequence similarity. Advantages of agrobacterium mediated transformation. First, this is a natural method of gene transfer. Agrobacterium can conveniently infect any explants, cells, tissues or organs. Even large fragments of DNA can be efficiently transferred. Stability of transferred DNA is reasonably good. Transformed plants can be regenerated effectively. DGGE in mutation detection. Many diseases are caused by mutations in the DNA, and in some cases the disease is hereditary. These diseases are usually caused by mutations in a single gene that makes the protein it encodes not to function properly or not to function at all. These are called Mendelian diseases or hereditary diseases and can have different type of inheritance, dominant, recessive or X-linked. The molecular analysis of genetic diseases relies on several technical approaches which allow genetic and physical mapping, characterization of the gene structure, expression studies and identification of disease causing mutations. Denaturing gradient gel electrophoresis or DGGE allows the rapid screening for single base changes in enzymatically amplified DNA. The technique is based on the migration of double-stranded DNA, that is dsDNA molecules through polyacrylamide gels containing linearly increasing concentration of a denaturing agent. Denaturing gradient gel electrophoresis or DGGE as originally described by Myers and his co-workers in 1987. DGGE allows the separation and detection of DNA molecules that differ by as little as a single nucleotide. The electrophoretic separation is based upon the melting properties of the double-stranded DNA molecule. The two complementary strands of DNA melt out or separate under conditions of increased temperature or under the influence of certain chemicals termed denaturants. An increase in the temperature and or concentration of chemical denaturant around a DNA molecule will cause it to melt out along its length in discrete segments or regions called melting domains. Melting domains vary in length between about 25 UP to several hundred bases and each melts cooperatively at a distinct temperature called a TM. The TM of a melting domain is highly dependent on its nucleotide sequence and even a single base substitution is sufficient to alter the TM of a domain. DGGE involves the electrophoresis of a double-stranded DNA molecules up to 400 to 500 base pair for efficient analysis through a vertical polyacrylamide gel that contains a linear gradient from top to bottom of increasing chemical denaturant concentration opposite to temperature. As a DNA fragment enters the concentration of denaturant where its lowest temperature melting domain begins to denature, the domain opens forming a DNA molecule with a branched structure. This branched DNA has a greatly retarded mobility in the gel matrix. If a DNA sample contains a point mutation in this domain which differs from the normal sequence, the TM of the domain will be different. The DNA molecule will melt out at a slightly different TM and thus will have an altered mobility in the gel compared to control DNA. DGGE can be used to detect single base changes in all but the highest temperature melting domain of a DNA fragment. To facilitate the detection of mutations along the complete length of a DNA fragment, a GC rich segment may be attached to one end of the fragment during the PCR reaction by the addition of a GC-rich sequence to the 5' end of one of the primer pair. This GC-rich segment or GC clamp, usually 30 to 60 base pair long, has a very high TM and in comparison the remaining DNA fragment will have a single and lower TM. Prior to the discovery of PCR, DNA fragments for DGGE analysis were generated by cloning. Now, with appropriate PCR primers, it is possible to generate fragments of any gene of interest. If a DNA sample is heterozygous for a point mutation, the PCR reaction will generate a mixture of double-stranded DNA molecules and up to 4 bands will be visible after running the DGGE gel. There will be homoduplexes from the wild and the mutant sequences. In addition, there will be 2 types of heteroduplex DNA molecules which migrate at a slower rate, representing hybridized mismatched wild type and mutant DNA strands generated by reassorting of DNA strands during PCR reaction. If the sample is either homozygous for the normal or wild sequence or for a mutation, it will only have one homoduplex molecule. There are a number of advantages and disadvantages of DGGE. DGGE is very sensitive to variations in DNA sequence. DGGE allows simultaneous analysis of multiple samples. Useful method for monitoring shifts in community structure over time. Community profiles can be analyzed with cluster analysis. The use of universal primers allows the analysis of microbial communities without any prior knowledge of the species. The fragments separated by DGGE can be excised, cloned and sequenced for identification. It is possible to identify constituents that represent only 1% of the total community. DGGE can be applied to phylogenetic and functional genes. The disadvantages include DGGE is time consuming. It from the same drawbacks as all PCR based community analysis techniques, including biases from DNA extraction and amplification. The variation in 16S rRNA gene copy number in different microbes makes this technique only semi-quantitative. Microheterogeneity in rRNA encoding genes present in some species may result in multiple bands for a single species and subsequently to an overestimation of community diversity. Heteroduplexes can cause biases to the observed diversity. No method for automated analysis is currently available. Works well only with short fragments, that is less than 600 base pair, thus limiting phylogenetic characterization. Gels of complex communities may look smeared due to the large number of bands. Band position does not provide reproducible taxonomic information. Results difficult to reproduce between gels and laboratories. DGGE in mutation and human molecular genetics. DGGE was introduced 20 years ago as a gel system to separate DNA fragments. Now, the technology has been developed into a powerful method for detecting single base changes. DGGE is a rapid screen for mutation in gene, also provides a comparative analysis between samples. The technique is versatile because sequence changes can be detected even if they are not at restriction endonuclease site. However, because DNA fragments denature in distinct segments or domains, only those sequence differences that reside within the early melting domains of a particular fragment can be determined by DGGE. DGGE is also used to detect polymorphism in human genomic DNA. It offers several advantages when searching an existing panel of unique probes for several polymorphisms. In combination with PCR, it has been widely used by research and diagnostic laboratories in the diagnosis of cancer and inherited diseases. Let us summarize the following discussions on transient expression of transgene DGGE in mutation detection. Transient expression is a short-term expression of the introduced DNA, that is, the introduction of DNA into the nucleus and the DNA starts to function. Transient expression is usually studied using scorable marker genes like B-glucuronidase green fluorescent protein, which report their expression via direct production of a detectable colored or fluorescent compound or an enzyme that can convert a non-pigmented substrate into a pigmented form. Transient expression is only a measure of successful short-term transgene expression, and it may not always perfectly reflect the ability of the cells to integrate the introduced DNA to generate stable events. Transient expression represents the first successful gene introduction and function. Optimization of transient expression is quite useful for the initial development of transformation methods. The molecular analysis of genetic diseases relies on several technical approaches which allow genetic and physical mapping, characterization of the gene structure, expression studies and identification of disease-causing mutations. Denaturing gradient gel electrophoresis or DGGE allows the rapid screening for single base changes in enzymatically amplified DNA. Before we move on to the next session, please try to answer the following questions. Write an overview of transient expression. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of DGGE. Write short note on the optimization of transient expression. Explain the principle and methodology of denaturing gradient gel electrophoresis or DGGE. Discuss the most commonly used scorable markers. Books for your reference are Introduction to Bioinformatics by Atwood and Parry Smith, Pearson Education. Bioinformatics, A Beginner's Guide by Jean Michael Claverie, John Wiley and Sons. Structural Bioinformatics by Philip E. Bourne and Hales Racing Ville. Essential Bioinformatics by Jin Xiong, Cambridge University Press. Bioinformatics, Sequence and Genome Analysis, Mount D.W., Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory Press, New York.